Employees who are not confident in their job role can hinder business growth, cause extra work for others, ruin company reputation, and other damaging things within a business. That's why companies and leaders must ensure their employees are confident in their job role to avoid business destruction. Lucky for you, I'm going to give you the tools to help boost employee confidence so that your company doesn't go bankrupt. But you have to listen carefully and understand each part properly. Otherwise, you're not going to know what to do and it might leave you with your pants pulled down. So, what is confidence? The official definition is the feeling or belief that one can have faith in or rely on someone or something, including themselves. And when it comes to employee confidence, most employers are looking at it wrong. The last time I delivered my Build Unstoppable Confidence workshop, an employee came up to me at the end of the session to ask for some advice. One of their colleagues was asking management for feedback on what they could do to progress their career. This colleague would try to speak up in meetings and contribute where they could, and they felt like they were being proactive about trying to progress their career. However, the feedback management gave was to be more confident. And this made my blood boil. What a terrible, terrible statement. This is extremely vague. Be more confident in what specifically? Does leadership want them to say things more assertively? Deliver more engaging presentations? Demonstrate decisive decision making? Propose ideas with conviction? What exactly do they want to see confidence in? Confidence isn't an overall thing. We are confident in specific things, but some are able to use their confidence in specific things and let it benefit the rest of their life. And this is a tactic that many of the most confidently appearing people use to boost their confidence. And you can use it too, and help employees understand this so they can implement it and become more confident in whatever they need to be more confident in. But this is just one of two methods, and I'll explain how it works. But the second is a more structured approach, so make sure you stick around for that. But to understand this part, we're going to look at Muhammad Ali. For those of you who've been living under a rock, Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest boxers of all time and was someone who appeared confident in everything he did. With a boxing record of 56 wins and only 5 losses, he used his boxing confidence to apply to other areas of his life. He would say, "I am the greatest." And he was able to take this mindset into everything he did. He allowed his confidence in the ring to translate into trash talking, appearing confident in interviews, and being an activist. His confidence in the ring helped him be more confident in all of those things outside of the ring. And most people are confident at something, whether it's cooking a nice meal, playing a specific sport, or even making a coffee. There are things each and every one of us do every single day that we're confident in and we don't even realize. Something that you and your colleagues are confident in is something that someone else isn't confident in. So how can you use this to help build employee confidence? Well, to do that, we're going to look at the second thing I mentioned, the exposure hierarchy. To understand the power of this, I'm going to give you a story. Many years ago, before I started my business, I went traveling. I lived in Australia for a year, and then I traveled around Southeast Asia on my way back to England. And throughout my traveling, there were many times I lacked confidence. And one of those times was when I went fishing in Cambodia. I was born and raised in London, and I'm not someone who was exposed to much wildlife growing up. Now, this fishing trip was incredible. And on our boat, there was a young boy helping out. He must have been about 10 years old. He showed me how to throw my wire into the sea and catch my first fish. There was just one problem. I had never touched a live fish in my life, and I was terrified to take it off the hook. Some of you may perceive me to be a confident person. I deliver keynote speeches in front of big audiences. I deliver workshops in front of people. I challenge myself regularly. But in this moment, I had no confidence because I didn't use the exposure hierarchy. So as I stand there with this fish flapping on my line, this kid tells me to take it off. He could see I wasn't confident and came over and casually took the fish off the hook and threw it in the bucket. Like it was a piece of cake. I was stood there mesmerized. This little kid just took that fish off the hook and I'm here terrified. So I decided the next fish I was going to take off the hook myself. But secretly, I was hoping that I didn't catch any more. But guess what? I did. Now, as I stood there, slowly trying to convince myself that this wasn't a big deal, my hand got closer and closer to the fish. I was taking my time and trying to build up to it. Then out of the blue, the kid comes over and just takes the fish off the hook again. Saved by the bell. I never did take a fish off the hook because I didn't use the exposure hierarchy. I'd never been exposed to a situation like this. How can I expect to be confident in it when it's something I've never done before? So what is the exposure hierarchy? Well, this is where you take small steps towards something that you want to be more confident in. You take those small steps, achieve success, you realize that everything is okay, then you build on it. You take another small step, achieve success, realize that everything is still okay, and keep building on this. Let me give you an example of how I've successfully used this. But first, if you've enjoyed this video so far, hit that like and subscribe. As I mentioned, I'm confident in talking in front of large groups of people and delivering wellbeing workshops, but it hasn't always been this way. The first time I delivered a proposal to a small HR team, my legs were trembling as I was delivering this talk. I was so nervous. My palms were sweaty. I didn't feel confident, but thankfully I got through it. But I didn't want to feel like that again, so I worked on gradually building up my confidence. First, I used to practice my workshops in front of the mirror, just me and the mirror. I would build up my confidence speaking to myself. And guess what? I survived. Then I'd do it again and again until I felt super comfortable. Next was delivering my workshops in front of one person, which was initially my very supportive mother. Once I got comfortable doing that, it was to deliver in front of a group of people. Many years ago, I offered free workshops to build up my confidence. I thought that if I offered it for free, there was no chance they could complain and it would allow me to build up and work on my confidence. I did that, got success, realized it was okay, and now I earn a living from delivering workshops. And fast forward 7 years, I'm super confident in what I do because I've been exposed gradually to situations that have helped me build my confidence. So what does this look like for employees? If you want a colleague to be more confident in speaking during a meeting, ask them to contribute one word each week. Then as you build on it, ask them to contribute a sentence. The following week, 2 sentences, etc., etc. The key is that it needs to be gradual enough that individuals experience success and realize it's okay, and then it allows them to build on it. Now, as you're building employee confidence, you also need to make sure that your workplace is a place that employees want to be. To ensure you're not ignoring workplace culture, you need to watch this video here.